Let's see, by 63, I'd discovered the Telecaster. Well, I knew that my heroes, James Burton, who played with Ricky Nelson and later with Elvis, I knew he played the Telecaster. And my favourite all-time player, Jimmy Bryant, who was a country swing player, he played a Telecaster too. So I happened to walk into Selma's one day, and a friend of mine was one of the salesmen in there. He said, "Hey, look what we just got," you know. And it was an old telly, and it was, I think I paid like 52 guineas for it, you know, and it was a 59 telly, and I thought, wow, God, this is great. You know, my Gibson was great, but this thing was so electric and live, you know. This really suits me down to the ground here, you know. So I guess I became like a Fender player from then on, you know. I was working with Chris down at the Flamingo Club quite a lot. We played there like a couple of nights a week, and you know, a lot of great players, a lot of great bands were down there. Georgie Fame and the Blue Flames, of course, and Zoot Money's Big Roll Band, and you know, mostly R&B, some blues, you know. So I'd run into all the great players, you know. Eric Clapton had just joined John Mayall, so I'd see him on a regular basis. You know, we were good friends, and John McLaughlin was playing with an R&B band down there, and Andy Summers, later with the Police, he was with Zoot Money. So it was a great place for musicians, you know. Anyway, there was a guy who kept coming in to see us play, and he said, "Oh, I want to buy your Les Paul. I want to buy your Les Paul." And I said, "Well, no, I really like this guitar. I'm not playing it all the time, but you know, it's a great guitar. I want to hang on to it, you know." Anyway, he pestered me, and the only reason I sold it was to buy a Super 400, which was the top of the line Gibson that a friend of mine was selling, you know. And I soon realised it was a big mistake for me, because by that time I was playing the telly, and that, you know, you develop your style around the guitar you're playing, and the Gibson was totally wrong for me, you know. So I regretted parting with my Les Paul for a long time. You know, years later, I jump ahead a bit here. I ended up joining Clapton's band in '79, and that first rehearsal we had, you know, we were talking about guitars, and I said, "Yeah, I used to have this Les Paul," and I had a picture of it. I said, "I used to have this Les Paul, you know, and I loved it, and I really regret selling it." And he said, "Guys, I've got one of those somewhere." And, anyway, I thought no more about it, but the next day I came in. He came in with his guitar case, opened it up, and it was his Les Paul Custom he'd used with Cream and with Delaney and Bonnie, and he gave it to me. So I don't feel so bad about selling my original one now. So of course I still have that guitar. Bless his heart, yeah. I think he regretted it a few times after that, you know. When he had his first auction, I think he was going through his cellar with his guitar tag. He said, "What's that?" He said, "What happened to that Les Paul?" I said, "Oh shit, yeah, I gave that to Albert." Anyway, he's been very gracious about it, and he knows I love that guitar.